Hi guys, so this is Maths and Science Top Dogs again. So feel free to join us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, Twitter, any social media by using this one, Maths and Science Top Dogs, and at Twitter or just at and dogs. This is our name at Twitter. So you can join us in any social media where you are going to meet your classmates or your peers, so where you can discuss the problems with them, you can share ideas with them. Okay, so today we are taking a look at solve for x for grade 11. So this was taken from grade 11 November 2019 paper 1. So this is a grade 11, it's grade 11, was taken from the November 2019 paper 1. Okay, so I will just do question 1, and please keep eye on the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that you can get notification when I post next time, because I will be treating all past papers and more questions that are going to be helpful to you. Okay, so let's get started. Here you have this, you have a 2x open bracket x minus 3 close bracket is equal to 0, and then they're saying solve for x. So the meaning of solve for x, they're asking which value of x can we put here in order to get 0. We're looking for the value of x that we can put here, and that value and here, and that value will make this expression to be 0, right? So what's that value? You know, if we were guessing in maths, we'll just guess, but in maths we don't guess, we have to calculate that value. So now we have to come up with a way that we can calculate that value. So here, since you have 2x open bracket x minus 3 close bracket is equal to 3, to solve this expression, you just take this. Since if you have a 0 multiplied by something, then it's equal to 0. So if I can say, if it is the whole thing in here is 0, then this whole expression is gonna be 0. If this here is 0, and then the whole expression is gonna be 0. So by saying that if 2x is equal to 0, right, so the whole thing is gonna be 0. Or if x minus 3 is equal to 0, the whole thing is gonna be 0. You have to understand the meaning of what you're doing. Don't like cramming things and knowing that, okay, I just take this and equate to 0, take this equate to 0. What's the meaning of that? Okay, so here then, if I want x, I can divide both sides by 2, and then I will get x as 0. Or here, if I want x, I can take this 3 to the other side. So if I take this 3 to the other side, it's going to be plus 3. So x is equal to plus 3. So you are done, and then you collect your marks. You see, easy as that, by understanding what's going on. So let's go to the next question. Okay, so the next question is here, we have to solve for x also, but this time they're saying that you have to solve for x correct to 2 decimal places. So this, if they say this, they give you a paper and then they say this, they already gave you answer. You already know what's the answer there. So here, if they can say correct to 2 decimal place, there's no way you can solve for x here correct to 2 decimal places by using by factorizing this. So there we have no factors actually. First, let's take this, let's rewrite this equation in a standard form, because remember that a quadratic equation is given by ax squared plus bx plus c. So let's rewrite this in a standard form. So it's going to be 3x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. So there's no way that you can find the factors of these 4 and 3 and 3x squared that can give you 2x. If they told you this correct to 2 decimal places, once they say this, just know that here they just want you to take this expression and find the value of x using quadratic formula. So we have a quadratic formula which says, the quadratic formula says that x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. And this formula is very useful. It's very useful up until you reach the university level. You're still gonna use this formula. It's very useful in mathematics. So here we have to solve for x. So what we have to name our variables. Okay, so let's see. The constant that's multiplied by x squared is called a. So let's check here. We have a 3x squared. So what's a? A is going to be 3. So the constant that's multiplied by b is that's multiplied by x, it's b. The constant that's multiplied by x is b. So here we have a b. Our b is going to be minus 2. Constant that doesn't have any variable x, it's c. So c is going to be minus 4, right? So you just take this and substitute. So you're going to have your x as being x minus b. So x minus b, what's a b? B is minus 2. You substitute with minus 2 here, and you take plus first time, and then you say square root of the b squared. B squared is minus 2 squared minus 4. A is 3, and c it's minus 4, right? And then you extend these, you divide all of these by 2. 2a, a is 3, and you have all. Another one can be, what's another one? You have x being minus into minus 2. Then this time you're using minus. Remember that here the sign was plus or minus, so this time you're using minus here. The square root of minus b squared minus 4, a is 3, and c is minus 4, right? And you divide all of these by 2a, which is 2 multiplied by 3. And then we have to find the answer here, we have to find the answer here. Then you are done. Okay, so if you punch your calculator here, for the first one you're going to get 1.54, the second one you're going to get minus 0.87. So what you can do now is use testing, is to test whether your answers are correct. One thing I like about solving for x is because you can test whether your answers are correct or not. So you take this one here and you substitute here where you see x. So you're going to have 3 open bracket 1.54 and minus 2 1.54 minus 4. So if this expression doesn't give you 0, therefore this is wrong. So test the second one. The second one is 3 into minus 0.87 minus 2 into minus 0.87 minus 4. So if one of these expression doesn't give you 0, that means it's wrong. Okay, so I forgot to put a squared here, and also you put a squared here. So this is going to give you 0.05 and 0.01. So therefore they are correct because these values are approximately to 0. So this value we can say they are approximately to 0. They are zeros. So therefore your answer is correct. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so this is the third question, and the third question was inequality. So now I'm going to show you how to solve also inequalities. So the first thing that you must understand about the inequalities, because if they say that it's inequality means that both sides are not equal, because we have equations means both sides are equal. Expressions means that we don't have equal sign, and inequality means that this side is not equal to this side. So here if it is saying find the value of x, actually they want you to find the value or the values of x that when they're here they will make this expression less than 0. So we want something here that is going to make this less than 0 and also make this less than 0, right? So you are doing the same thing. So you are going to say x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, or x, oh sorry, not x, but I can say minus x plus 4 is this one here, is greater than or equal to 0. Remember that was x 4 minus x, so I'm just saying minus x plus 1. It's the same thing. And then after that, the next step, you take a constant to other side. So here this is going to be x is greater than or equal to 1, or this, when you take this to the other side, this is become minus x is greater than or equal to minus 4, right? So here, since both sides are negative, this side is negative and also this side, it's what is this, it's negative here. So you're going to divide this by negative. So you're going to have x is greater than or equal to 1, or when you divide this by minus 1 or by minus, it becomes positive. It changes this sign here. When you divide expression by minus, it changes. So that's one rule of inequality. When you divide this here, when you divide this expression by minus, this greater than sign changes to be a less than sign. So we are going to have x is less than or equal to 4, right? So to get a full marks, you have to represent this on a number line now. Then you're going to have this one here as your number line, and this is a positive side, and then this is a negative side. When you're going there as positive, this is negative. Okay, so since we have two values, which is it's 1, let's put 1 somewhere here, and let's put 4 somewhere here. So it says that x is less than or equal to 4. So it's going to be like this. You draw a circle here and you shade it inside. Because of this, equal or less than, you shade it. Also here it says that x is greater than or equal to, so it's from here to the other side, and then you also do this and you shade it. So for x, since x is greater than or equal to 1, start from here on your number line. It will start from here and go to that side. This is for values of x greater than or equal to 1, and x less than or equal to 4 is going to start here and go to this side. This is for x less than or equal to. So since we have a two roots, it tells us that this is a quadratic equation. So if this is a quadratic equation, and we know that here the value of x, the coefficient of x was negative, because here it's minus and here it's positive. So when you multiply these two out, you are going to get minus x squared. So this tells us that our graph is pointing downwards. Remember that as a grade 11 learner, you must know that if this is minus, and then your graph is going to point downwards like this. Okay, so that means here we have a sort of parabola that was coming here and turn at certain point and go downwards, and go downwards. So you must know the interpretation of these things, of where x is equal to and less than, on where x is greater than on or equal to. So you must know the interpretation. So this is the final step. Then you're done. You get your full marks. Okay, so let's move to the next one. So now you have this one here saying solve for x. So also there are some of the tricks that you must use, because in order to remove the square root, you have to square both sides. So here the first thing that you must do, you have to square both sides in order to remove the square root. So you're going to have 5 minus x is equal to, this one is going to be x squared plus 2x plus 1 when you expand it. So please watch my videos where I do an expansion and so on of grade 10. Okay, then after that, here you can see that this is the same as this one, so you can add the like terms. So it's going to be x squared plus 2x plus 1. You take this to this side and it becomes plus x. You take this to the other side, become minus 5, then it's equal to 0. So after this step, it says x squared plus 2x. Oh sorry, I was supposed to add that with that one. Let me just add it here. And then we have plus 1 minus 4, which is going to give us minus 5 is going to give us minus 4 is equal to 0. So now we're going to have x squared, and then when you add these two, you're going to get plus 3x, and then when you add these two, this is already added, you're going to have minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, so now we have to find the factors. As I told you that if you have these in a standard form of quadratic equation, because this is a quadratic equation of ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is a quadratic equation of this form. So what you must do now, if c is 0, you don't have to find the factors, because you can just take something out, x out here. But if b is 0, then you can take the common factor, not the common factor, sorry, you can find the factors. And if a is 0, therefore this is no longer quadratic equation. So if b is 0, still quadratic equation. If c is 0, still quadratic equation. But if a is 0, it's no longer quadratic equation. So for this to be quadratic equation, a must not be 0, right? So here we are going to find the factors for this one. I have a videos where I teach how to find the factors, how to solve for x for grade 10. So here this is going to be x, and factors for these we have a 2 and 2, and another factors, pair of factors, we have a x, and here you still have 4 and 1. 4 and 1, they can give you 4, and 2 and 2, they can give you 4. When you multiply these, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 1 is 4. So, and this 4 is minus, so we must check which one of the factors we can add them or subtract them in order to get plus 3. So these two, there's no way you can add 2 plus 2 or 2 minus 2 in order to get 3. So this is wrong, it's completely wrong. We are not going to use this one. You leave it. You come to the next one. Here we're looking for these two, 4 and 1. How can you add or subtract 4 and 1 in order to get plus 3? So if you say plus 4 minus 1, you are going to get plus 3. And if you say plus 4 times minus 1, you are going to get minus 4, right? So let's rewrite that. So you just take it from here. It's easy now. So from here you are going to have x plus 4 and another bracket x minus 1 is equal to 0. So you are going to have x as being minus 4, or x is equal to 1. And then you are not done. This is tricky, because after doing this, you have to test whether these both equations are valid in our equation. The reason we are testing is because here you remove the square root by square root, so that has sum of error. You're going to learn that later onwards. So we're going to substitute with minus 4 inside here. So you're going to have a square root of 5 minus 4 as x is minus 4, which is going to be plus 4, because you already have a minus here, is equal to, here you want to get minus 4 plus 1, right? So here this is going to give you the square root of 9 is equal to this minus this and that, which is going to be minus 3, right? So obviously this is 3 is equal to minus 3, which is not true, right? So therefore it tells us that x is not equal to minus 4. And then you take 1, you substitute, you are testing, and then you substitute 1, you're going to get a square root of 5 minus 1 is equal to 1 plus 1. Okay, so here you have 4 squared is 2, and then you have 2 is equal to 2, then x is equal to 1. So therefore you conclude by saying x is equal to 1 only. See, So if you don't do that, you're not going to get a full marks. You have to test this and check which one is correct, which one is not correct. Yeah, it's not always the case where you have all roots correct. So sometimes some of the roots are not correct, then you have to check them, and then after checking, you're done. Okay, thanks for watching. Please, if you didn't subscribe, hit the subscribe button to get a notification when we post next time.